I'm going to show you how to create a welcome series that is personalized and turns subscribers into first-time customers. My name is Gavin. I run an email and SMS marketing agency, and this is literally all I do, email and SMS marketing. If you find this video useful, subscribe to the channel, check out the newsletter in the description. Without wasting any more of your time, let me show you how to create a welcome series in Klaviyo that converts as many readers into customers. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's create a welcome series. Now, I'm actually going to model this welcome series here off of this board right here, which you actually have access to. Now, when we're creating a welcome series, the first thing we need to keep in mind is where traffic is coming from. When somebody subscribes to email marketing or essentially ends up in our Klaviyo account like this, there are a couple of ways that somebody can do so. Number one is when they subscribe on a pop-up form similar to this. Okay. Number two is when they place an order at checkout. Okay. And then occasionally number three is when somebody subscribes via like an embed form or something like that. For the most part, people are going to be coming to your welcome series or essentially into your Klaviyo account in two ways. When they subscribe via a form or when they place an order at on your store. What we're going to do is we're going to create a welcome series flow for people who do not place an order, but who subscribe via the form. Okay, so the first thing we need to actually look at is the sign-up form. Now, I have a whole bunch of videos on sign-up forms and how to do all those. Check out my channel. There's a bunch of cool links to that stuff on the channel. But essentially what we're going to want to do is we're going to capture their email subscription like this. And we also want to collect zero-party data. We want to figure out what people are interested in. Zero-party data are responses that people give us directly. And when they respond, for example, what they're interested in, we can tag their profile property through a sign-up form, and then split people using conditional splits down different channels in the path, or rather different channels within the flow. Now, I'm going to talk about all that in a second, but let's actually get into the building of the flow. The first thing you need to do is you need to select the trigger, and you need to make the trigger off of somebody being added to a list. Now, your sign-up forms, when you have them, when they press enter, should submit people to a list, a specific list within your account. You can name it whatever you want. We're going to assume that it's going to be the newsletter list in this case. We're going to hit confirm and save. And one thing we're also going to do is we're going to make sure the list that triggers the welcome series is set to single opt-in. Really important we do that because so many people seem to mess this thing up. We go here, we click the list within Klaviyo, go list and segments, click the list, click newsletter, click settings, click consent, change it. It'll default be double opt-in, change it to single opt-in, and then click save. What double opt-in and single opt-in is, double opt-in is when somebody subscribes, they get a confirmation email into their inbox, and they have to click, I confirm I want to receive email marketing. Make sure you change it to single opt-in, which means they don't have to do that. What that's going to do is it's going to increase the rate at which your list grows. It may decrease the quality of subscribers you have a little bit, but typically the increase in the rate of list growth outweighs the decrease in quality. Highly recommend switching it to single opt-in. Click save, you're good to go. Now, at the top of the flow, this is our trigger, so somebody is added to the list here. We're going to add some filters. The purpose of a welcome series flow is to ensure that somebody is going to be making a purchase. So, first thing we need to do is what somebody has or has not done, placed order 0 times since starting this flow. This means if somebody places an order while being in this flow, we'll kick them out. Because the purpose of the welcome series is to introduce somebody to your brand, but also to get them making that first purchase. Okay? And hit save. We're also going to add a few other filters here. You don't actually need to save it every time. I shouldn't have done that. But what you're going to do is you're going to add a few other filters. You're also going to say if someone can receive email marketing. So if they can receive email marketing, leave it like this, they can go into the flow. You're also going to add another condition. Make sure these are all and conditions. What somebody has or has not done. Type bounced. Bounced email 0 times in the last 30 days. The reason we add the bounced email 0 times in the last 30 days flow filter is because there's a chance that somebody entered into your email marketing and has a bad email, a crappy email, and you want them out of the flow because that's going to result in a bounce or like an invalid email address, and you don't want to keep sending people emails if they've bounced. So you're going to hit save. Perfect. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna create an email. Drag the email here, right underneath. And in this email here, you're gonna do the following. You're gonna click this, you're gonna turn off smart sending. See this little icon here? Turn this off. You're gonna hit save. You're also gonna enable UTM tracking for better tracking in your Google Analytics. You're gonna hit save. The first email here, I'm not gonna go into all the nuts and bolts of what's gonna be in this email, but essentially you just wanna give them the discount code that you gave them on the sign up form. Just immediately give them the discount code. That's all this first email has to do. And make sure it's no delay between when they subscribe. The reason we're just giving them the discount code is because we know they haven't ordered because this filter here. Place order 0 times since starting this flow. Cool. So the moment they place an order, bing, they get this email. They don't need to use the discount. They don't get this email if they place an order, meaning they don't get a discount on their next purchase. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add a time delay. Okay. Now keep in mind, I map out this all right in this sequence here. So you have access to this outline here that I'm going to build out here. And it goes into a little bit more depth in terms of the talking points that you want to have in each of these emails. What you're going to do is you're going to add a time delay. Okay. You're going to set this time delay. Not a lot of email marketers do this, but that's because they don't know what they're doing. You're going to change this time delay to be 12 hours. I'm going to tell you something here. 80% of people who are going to purchase after subscribing for a discount code, on average, across all e-commerce, are going to do so within the first 72 hours of subscribing for your sign-up form. 80%. Your job is to ensure that your brand's messaging and the offer that you give them is as present as possible within those first 72 hours. The more emails you send reiterating the proposition and the offer that you have within that 72-hour period, the more likely you are to convert somebody over what another brand does. Let me give you an example here. If you have two brands side by side, one gives you 10% off and the other gives you 10% off, and they're offering relatively similar products here, which brand do you think is going to win in terms of getting that sale? The brand that sends one email and then another email 3 days later, or the brand that sends one email and another email reminding them of the discount code after 12 hours? It's going to be the brand that is more present. Okay? It's going to be the brand that is more present when the person is thinking about buying. So it's really important that you reiterate your messaging and send more emails within that first 72-hour period in that welcome series immediately. Okay? What that does here, and also, by the way, we do not see an increase in unsubscribe rates or anything like that when stuffing the welcome series more aggressively from a time perspective. So after 12 hours, you're going to send them a reminder email. Okay? Make sure you turn off smart sending again, turn on UTM tracking, and just have a reminder email that goes out specifically. Okay? That's what that is. Then you're going to have another email. Going to have a 1-day delay. 1 day. And what you're going to do here is you're going to create a conditional split. This conditional split is going to be sending people down different paths based on how they responded to this form. Now, we should have a profile property if people are updating and responding to our sign-up forms with an interest category. So if we go properties about somebody, type in interest, we can see that interest category is not here. The reason it's not here is because the sign-up form is not tagging people with their interest category. Now, if you want to go a little bit more in depth here, in terms of, we go into sign-up forms, how to actually create the sign-up forms for the welcome series, check out the other video. There should be a link in the description here on how to build all these. But essentially what this sequence here does, what this sign-up form here does, is when they tag this, or they click this button, they click next, we will have a form that tags them with an interest category. Let me show you. Here's an example of a sign-up form. When we click this here, we can see their checkbox, right? Profile property. When they tick this box, it's going to create a profile property that tags them with what they're interested in, which then allows us, let me give you an example of an actual welcome series, to pull that profile property when they were tagged in the sign-up form stage into the welcome series. Check out the video where I specifically talk about building out the sign-up forms to get a better idea of this. But what we're going to do here is we're just going to add profile properties, take Dominic Woods. I'm just going to add interest category. Interest category. category chicken. Okay. Add. We're gonna go here, gonna reload this, and now since somebody has that tag, we should be able to create splits. So we go properties about somebody, interest category. See that? We have it now because someone's been tagged with it. Is set or is not set. This means if somebody does not have the tag, they will go down the left-hand side, and if they do have the tag, they'll go down the right-hand side. Basically, what we're seeing is, has this person responded to what they're interested in the sign-up form? Because it's set. If they have responded, it will be set, meaning they'll go down the no path. If they have not responded, they'll go down the yes path. Hit save. This email here is going to ask them what they're interested in again. Okay? It's going to simply say, hey, what are you interested in? And then when they respond, when they click a button, you're going to tag their profile property by updating their interest category, right? Pretty straightforward. We go here, then 24 hours. Okay, so we have 1 day. We're going to add a 24-hour delay here after this email, because we want to have 24 hours after this email comes. So I'm going to type 1. Then what we're going to do is going to create more conditional splits. Let's assume we have 2 different products somebody could be interested in. We're going to do this. Properties about somebody, interest, category equals chicken. And let's say the other one was pork, right? So interest category, properties about somebody, interest category equals, we're going to assume, just going to type in pork. No one has it right now, but let's assume that we have 2 options for them to say what they're interested in, chicken and pork. If they're interested in chicken, we send them an email that talks about chicken. If they're interested in pork, we send them an email that talks about pork. See how we're using zero-party data and their responses to our sign-up forms to create messages that are curated for them. If they haven't told us what they're interested in because of process of elimination, meaning their interest category is not set, they haven't clicked the button in here, obviously we're turning off smart sending by the way, and they haven't responded in the sign-up form, we know that it could be either chicken or pork, because they haven't told us they're interested in chicken and they haven't told us they're interested in pork. So we create an email here that talks about both of these. Now keep in mind, every single email you're sending here should have the discount code and the incentive in it. Then what we do is we link all the emails back up together, add another time delay. Okay, notice here we have 4 days. Good time delay. Oh, we've already got it, sorry. 4 days, because we're kind of past that 72-hour period now, right? Go 4 days. You can shorten this if you want. Let's keep it at 4 days. Then we have an email. This email here, note, I've given you the note here, is just going to be a reminder of the discount that you've given them, right? Feel free to use a timer if you want in there, but yeah, basically just have a reminder of the discount. Now, I've actually added a note here in terms of updating their profile property within the welcome series. Notice here, I'm actually just going to delete this. There's no need for us to have this anymore. So really, this is all we're going to do. Bing. Now, here's an interesting thing that I like to do. Adjust this. Here we go. If somebody has gone through this welcome series and opened an email 0 times since starting this flow, I think there's a real argument, and this is up to you, but looking at suppressing them. Okay? If they go through the entire welcome series and they have not opened the flow, I think there's an argument to say, hey, listen, if they haven't engaged, maybe it's time that we suppress this profile. So what you can do, totally up to you, this really depends on your deliverability. If your deliverability is good, I would not recommend doing this. If you're getting good engagement from your emails currently, I would not recommend doing this. But if your emails are not doing well, you have low open rate, low click rates, I'd recommend doing this. Go to days, conditional split, what somebody has or has not done, opened email, opened 0 times overall time, because they would have gone through the welcome series and received campaigns, and then do this. update profile property. Okay. Go update or create new property. Suppress. True. And this is the segment that you will periodically suppress every month. So essentially, if they haven't engaged with the welcome series and haven't engaged with any campaigns while being in this flow, right, or just overall in general, and they've just subscribed to email marketing, I think there's an argument here to be like, hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead and suppress them. Okay, so take this, 4 and 1 day, create a tag, create new property, suppress, and then hit true. And then create a segment of people with that tag and suppress them once every month. That's going to help improve your overall deliverability. That's how you create a relatively complex and advanced welcome series within Klaviyo. If you have any questions, let me know. I have a bunch of free resources on this stuff. Once again, this is literally all I do. If you do need a hand with your email marketing, shoot me a message. There's a link to my Calendly in the description down below. Bunch of cool other free resources. And stay tuned. I release new videos like this twice a week. Thanks for watching, guys.